Hi, folks. It's Mark Smith with Family Tree Brand Life Coaching. And I had a quick video to share with you because something really magical and really funny happened in a therapy session yesterday. And as soon as it happened, I said, I'm making a video. Do you mind if I make a video? And the client said, Yeah, go ahead and make a video, no problem. So the other reason I'm wanting to share today is within the next couple hours, our channel is going to go over 3 million views. So I thought that was sort of momentous. Um, I'm coming at you from my home office here in Indianapolis, where it was minus 8 degrees yesterday. Crazy. So Monday I get on a plane and go back home to South Carolina, where I know it's not super hot, but it's warmer than it is here. So um, I should drink and hydrate before my videos and not during. But so for most of you folks who watch related to narcissistic abuse, that this isn't a healing your trauma, talking about narcissism type of video. This is more what it looks like to be in a healthy relationship kind of a video. So just be forewarned that we're not going to be talking about narcissists, but we're going to be talking about the difficulty, the blood, sweat, and tears that it takes to be in a marriage, even with a non-narcissist. It's pretty goddamn hard. So, um, so anyway, uh, my wife and I, who is a life coach, we work with a couple together, and we did an intensive with them back in the fall. But they're two folks who are just super highly motivated, super insightful, super in touch with their feelings, and they usually schedule 2 hour appointments, and we roll up our sleeves and they work with us together. And if couples out there want to work with us together, we can do that. It's a little more expensive, but the the, the wife was, they're saying they're disconnected, and they don't have ways of communicating that were safe. Can anybody relate to being in a relationship and it's not safe to have conflict? So we had them practice Imago Dialogue. Anybody who has read Getting the Love You Want by Harville Hendrix knows about Imago therapy and Imago Dialogue. And I knew about it for many years in my practice, and I didn't have my clients do it because it seemed corny. But man, is it powerful, and man, does it work. So I'm going to share how it worked with this couple, and then I'm going to share how it worked with some work that my wife and I have been doing. So it worked with this couple in the sense that uh, let me explain what Imago Dialogue is. Whoever has the floor, they can say whatever they want, and the listener can't reply or say anything. All they can do is reflect back what their partner has said. And what that does is it makes you pay attention. Usually, when our spouse is talking, what we're doing is we're just preparing our rebuttal, right? We're just coming back at them so we can interrupt them. But with this, you really have to pay attention. So she would say something for 2 or 3 sentences, and then he would mirror it back. We call it mirroring. And as we were doing this work, she began to feel safe. because she knew she wasn't going to get yelled at. He wasn't going to interrupt her. He wasn't going to criticize her. And at some point, he said to her, as we were processing this piece of work, he said, "You looked really happy when you were talking." And then she broke down and started crying like a little girl. And I said, "Oh." And then I said to my wife, "Oh." And then I said, "Oh," because it was just beautiful. It was just um, your spouse genuinely hearing you. And Stephen Covey, he said, hearing somebody is like giving them psychological air to breathe. But that isn't the funny thing and the cool thing that happened as we were processing with the couple the work that they had done, because they had gone from being combative to holding each other, and she was crying, he was holding her. It was beautiful. And as we were talking about it, she blurted something out. I thought she was going to say, "Thank you for listening. This was wonderful." But that's not what she said. What she blurted out, she said, "I love it when you stop talking." I love it when you stop talking. Uh, it was the truth. It came from the heart. It was uh, well said, and just real magical thing to have happened. So we just got, I bet Renda and I about fell off our chairs laughing, and the couple about fell off their chairs laughing. It was just really funny, because we thought it would be a warmer and fuzzier thing said, but it turned out to be, "I love it when you stop talking." So the work that Renda and I did, and I guess I'm talking about Imago Dialogue and how powerful it is. And if you folks have not read Getting the Love You Want by Harville Hendrix, and you're in a relationship or you were in a relationship, you got to read that book, because it explains a lot, and it gives you some tools and some homework, a lot of homework to do. That's real powerful stuff. But Renda and I had an issue come up. We moved in a trailer. We still have the home in South Carolina, but we moved a trailer, and we couldn't go over 55 miles an hour without the trailer going thumpity thump. And we had 2 dogs and 2 cats in the car, and we drove 17 hours straight. And we were grumpy and we were tired. And then we had a bunch of stuff in storage. We moved into this condo, and we were grumpy and we're at each other's throats. And then we hosted a Christmas party, and then we were going to host my family. And I had the place all set up. I thought we had her whipped, and then all hell broke loose in our relationship, and we had a big wound. I had a wound opened up, and so what we did, and it was her idea, we contacted the best Imago therapist in town, and who I've done considerable work with another relationship. And off we went to Dr. Baca's office, and in 1 hour and a half session, we pretty well fixed it. Because all I needed to get to the emotional healing place was, I just needed to be heard, and I needed to be understood. And by using the Imago Dialogue, we were able to achieve that. Just a little bit ago, my wife, her sister was dying, and then all of a sudden we get news today that her sister's off the ventilator and is breathing and is not dying. But we had some of the heavy issues to deal with, and we practiced Imago Dialogue as we were just laying in bed holding each other. She was like, "Tut, tut, 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 tut. Let's practice the Imago Dialogue," and we did, and it just works like magic. So I had a couple once many years ago, And she had this thing that she said. I've said this before on videos, but when she came to therapy, it felt to her like she had a microphone on her end of the couch and a big bank of like high powered speakers on the wall. And she would come in, let's say the husband's name was Dave. She'd say, "Dave, welcome to your session, Dave." she wouldn't make she wouldn't make that sound, but she would say, "Welcome, Dave. There are some things that I would like to talk about. Amen." And he would listen. Why am I using that still? He would listen. And there's such power in listening. My family, my son and daughter and ex-wife and wife and son's girlfriend were all listening to a book called what is it called? I'll get the name here. It's related to having bipolar disease. It's called "I'm Not Sick, I Don't Need Help" by Xavier Amador. And basically, in this book on dealing with people who have schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, he basically uses the same techniques of mirroring. And instead of telling the bipolar person the truth, you listen to them and build trust by hearing them and reflecting back to them. And because you can't tell a bipolar person anything because their brain's not capable of it. But if you use reflective listen, so in relationships, when you're fighting, your brains are both crazy and you both think you have truth. And there is no truth between couples. There's his truth and her truth, or his truth and his truth, or hers truth and hers truth, whatever the case may be. But I'm telling you, um, it's been a big help for us as a family in dealing with my other daughter who has bipolar disorder. We were going about it all wrong. And frankly, all the mental health professionals were going about it all wrong. So we're going to try to go about it all right and use reflective listening. And that's if you have schizophrenic or bipolar in your life, this book, "I'm Not Sick, I Don't Need Help" by Xavier Amador will help you. But it's the same principles that if you're in a couple relationship, and everybody who's in a couple relationship is crazy because everybody's crazy. And when you're fighting, you're crazy. And this technique will help you communicate in a way that's not crazy. But I just had to share that with you, that this lady says, "I love it when you quit talking and you start listening. Because when you start listening and you stop talking, I feel safe, I feel heard, and it makes me smile and it makes me happy. And it heals the wounds from childhood and it heals the wounds in the coupleship." That's all I had to say. Football playoffs are coming on. I'm going to go watch me some football. I'm going to get on my massage bed, get me a little massage from my massage bed. And I'll be back in South Carolina and probably making lots of videos here pretty soon. So join our YouTube channel, subscribe, and you'll be notified. I'm going to be doing the live stream show this coming Tuesday night by my own self because my wife has her other sister coming into town. They're going to decorate the condo, and I don't get a say. They're going to decorate it, and I'll just show up, and that's the way it is. So that's the way that is. So anyway, also I have books on affair recovery and narcissistic abuse recovery and shame and abandonment on our website, familytreecounseling.com. So God bless you all, and have a wonderful day, and practice listening and not talking. See y'all.